The winner is you, Senpai! What an utter thrashing!
I love all this animosity! These cocky, self-righteous friends showing how they really feel by beating the crap out of each other. That's the real thrill of the P1 Grand Prix!
I don't care to hear any more of Teddy's jests. I still have reservations about fighting against my friends, but I now know that there is no other way to save them. Resolved to do what must be done. Also, there's not knowing if Teddy and Rise had been affected just like Yosuke and Yukiko had. If there are, then there's no use in trying to talk to them through the monitor like this. That's the conclusion I've come to, but Miss President seems to have other ideas.
How much further are you gonna push this? Why are you doing it anyway? These guys are friends! What's so much fun about making friends fight each other?
Miss President vents her frustration at Teddy's image on the monitor. But I was a bit surprised on how she worded it. She seemed more upset that he was making friends fight each other, not why he had dragged the entire school into this mess. We've only just met, but she clearly sympathizes with us and understands the pain we're going through. I'm embarrassed, but I'm proud at the same time. A girl with such compassion would be a great student council president. It's no wonder she was elected to represent the student body as Yasugami High.
It's alright. Thanks, though.
It's not alright! This is...
She's still worked up and she lashes out at me. Perhaps her heart is a little too honest, but her anger sets my mind at ease. She's right. What General Teddy is doing right now cannot be forgiven. I glare at the monitor.
Sorry, but you're not getting your wish.
What?
Did you think this would be all it took to break us apart? That it would make us hate each other? Sorry to say, but that's a huge mistake on your part. I believe in my friends. They'll never get taken in like that.
You're so stupid! What kind of sensei are you?
I'm warning you now. If you really are Teddy, then we'll get you back to normal no matter what it takes. Even if it costs us our lives. But if you're an imposter, hiding behind Teddy's face, I will make you pay for toying with us.
Huh. Teddy scoofs and turns around. The monitor suddenly switched off. Suddenly turning on us without any sign of remorse. That's not like Teddy at all. No, he's most likely not the real Teddy. Seeing the anger in his face only strengthens my suspicion. Someone must be taking Teddy's form to make it look like he's the one committing these acts.
That girl's come around.
I immediately rush to Yukiko's side. Are you alright?
Yukiko, are you alright? I'm sorry I couldn't go easy on you.
No, it's okay. You weren't your usual self, but I could tell by your eyes that there was something going on. I'm sorry too. Did I hurt you?
Kinda, yeah. I sure wouldn't want to get into it with you again.
I try to pass it off as a joke and we look at each other and laugh. Things are going to the same way as they had with Yosuke. It's becoming clear now.
Did I say things that offended you earlier?
Yes. You did.
Yukiko hesitates as if even remembering it is a difficult experience. What in the world did my illusion say to her? I bet it was something horrible. Whoever's doing this is certainly finding the most annoying way of getting us to fight. But what I supposedly said to her doesn't matter. Yukiko is still hesitant to bring it up, so I tell her not to worry about it. Most likely we get to see that through her side. So this is like the whole reason why there's like different branches of characters. We actually get to see their experience quite differently.
I don't need to know what I said. I just wanted to see if my guess was right. It looks like our enemy has the power to confuse our senses. My first opponent was Yosuke, and he told me a similar story after we fought.
Huh? You said something bad to Yosuke-kun too? What did you tell him?
You sure you want to know?
If I'm the only one admitting to what happened, that's not fair, is it? Well, that curiosity is in the line with Yukiko, I know. I obey the issue with a smile and call out to Miss President, who's standing beside us.
What kind of people are you? Hmm? Oh, right. We used our personas.
Yeah, we should at least explain to her what's going on.
She said she did see everything that just happened. This would be a good opportunity to tell her everything. I introduced Miss President and Yukiko to each other and filled in the parts that I had left out of my previous explanation. I told her about the personas. I told her that we are actually in a world inside the television. And I told her how the scenery here changes according to the hearts of the people who enter it. She looks doubtful while I'm talking, but considering that she's just seen our personas only moments ago, she doesn't immediately deny it. Still, it seems that she can't accept it all either. She crosses her arms as if lost in thought. On the other hand, it seems that Yukiko didn't know that Yasogami High had a new student council president either. Yukiko apologized for not having paid attention to the elections in April.
That's it in a nutshell.
So that's what you meant by falling into a TV.
Yeah, which makes me believe this school could be a part of your mind that's materialized.
This school came from me? That's a lot to swallow. I'm not surprised. Why is it different this time around, though? Usually the victim's shadow appears first.
That's right, I had doubts about that too. There's a reason why it's dangerous for people who can't use their personas to enter this world. Besides the obvious reasons such as not being able to escape and being unable to protect themselves from shadows or person's shadow separate from them. The shadows that split off are strongly attached to the original people they came from and will try to harm them in order to become independent identities. I haven't given it much thought since Miss President seemed so energetic, but it seems it's still possible that this has happened to her as well. I put this together with the conversation I had with Teddy a moment ago and come to a conclusion.
Teddy who's hosting this tournament. What if he's actually this girl's shadow?
Huh?
I noticed he got agitated when I called him an imposter. A fake Teddy would mean he's someone else using Teddy's form.
I see. If this place reflects Miss President's heart, her shadow must be here. And right now, the strongest candidate is...
That's right. We both saw an illusion that at the very least, the enemy has the power to delude our senses and make us see and hear things that aren't there. On top of that, it can alter what others hear us say and see us do. If it can do that, then I can easily see that our enemy can use that power to change its appearance. That means it could be impersonating Teddy and leading this tournament. That still leaves the question as to why it would take on the appearance of someone it doesn't know. I've seen shadows in the past that took on bizarre appearances, but this is the first time I've seen one impersonate an existing person. Does the shadow have some kind of objective? When I come to my senses, I see that Miss President has turned pale and is staring down the ground. All this talk of shadows and another world doesn't seem to be reaching her, but she seems troubled with the thought that she might be causing all this trouble. I'm about to tell her that the actions of her shadow aren't her fault, but Miss President rises to her feet.
I'm gonna check out the announcement room. That General Teddy's behind the whole shebang, right? And if he came from me, then I gotta own up to the responsibility. As student body president, I can't let this go.
Very responsible from your part.
Wait, you're being reckless. We'll take care of the shadow. You need to...
What? Get out of this TV world? And how am I supposed to do that? Go on. Show me the door.
Well...
Her eyes are filled with the fires of determination, just as they had been when I first met her. Her sense of responsibility and her awareness of her duties say that she will never back down.
Cousins in the announcement room, and you're gonna go save her, right? I might not be as strong as the two of you, but I'm no slouch in a fight. Wouldn't it be better if we went together?
No, don't you understand? This world is.
I know it's dangerous, but there's gotta be something only I can do to help. Hell, that aside, I can't leave after causing so much trouble. Making friends fight each other. I'm going on ahead. You don't want to waste time arguing, yeah?
This person declares this in a voice that brooks no argument and takes off running. Yikes, I wasn't expecting her to behave rashly like this. I remember how fast she can run. If I'm going to go after her, I need to go at once, or I'll lose her.
Please, you have to go after her.
Yuko sees me hesitate and knows exactly what to say. She's right. There's so much we don't understand, but there's no way the investigation team can let a victim run off to die. Yukiko ignores the fact that I'd be leaving her here alone and tells me to follow a girl she's only just met. This is the exact opposite of the behavior she'd been displaying before the fight. Now that this is the Yukiko Amagi I know. I'm ashamed that I had even slightly let myself to be confused by the way I had heard her speak before, and I answered her. I'll come back for you no matter what.
I believe in you.
Yukiko nods to me, and I turn and begin running as fast as I can. I have to rely on the faint echoes of footsteps ahead to pursue Miss President through the school. I can't use my memories of the school in order to navigate because the invisible walls are everywhere, but the announcement room is upstairs. That obviously limits the path that she can take. I will catch up with her no matter what. Alright. I've been running after Miss President for a while, but I still can't catch sight of her. She's so fast, it's almost supernatural. I've even begun to think that her path may not be hindered by the invisible walls. Wait a second. Now that I think about it, she's not a participant in the P1 Grand Prix. She didn't appear in the introduction video, and even though she'd been there when I faced off with Yukio, she wasn't affected by the rules. Could she be able to walk through these walls? If so, then catching up to her will be quite difficult. Just as I'm thinking this, suddenly a blue door appears in my path. I've seen this before. This is the entrance to the Velvet Room. I don't have time to deal with this, or so I think, but when I consider the timing of its appearance, I can't help but feel that there must be a reason for it. I make up my mind and reach for the door. As I walk through the door, I feel a slight sense of lightheadedness, and I close my eyes. Reflection. Okay, we enter in. When I open my eyes, I am seated in my usual position, and Margaret is smiling quietly at me as if nothing is different. When she sees that I've noticed her, she speaks as if aware of my impatience.
You seem flustered, but time has no meaning here.
Margaret politely points this out, knowing that I'm in a hurry. Time is meaningless, huh? I thought I had figured out a few things about this room, but it seems that there's still more for me to learn about it. If time doesn't pass while I'm in this room, then I should concentrate on what she's about to tell me. Once again, as if I'm reading my thoughts, Margaret
It
smiles.
seems you've emerged victorious and have come away with a piece of the truth. Though you are in a garden of deceit, you have the vision to go forward. Very impressive.
Is that student council president's shadow really the cause of all this then?
Who can say? All I know is that you are getting ever closer to the truth. There is one thing I can tell you.
Margaret's golden eyes are fixed on mine.
If that girl's shadow is the cause of this misfortune, she will face her trial. But it's separate from your fate. You have your own trial to overcome. Keep that to heart.
My own trial.
I don't mean to, but I repeat what Margaret had just said.
Everyone sees various things in you that draw them to you. Salvation, hope. I myself find fascination in watching over you. Fate may not be the author of your trials, but you are destined to be tested.
Margaret smiles mischievously and nods toward me. Another slight feeling of lightheadedness passes, and I return to the otherworldly school. The blue door is nowhere to be found, as if it had never been there to begin with. I look up. I still don't understand what my own trial is supposed to be. But for some reason, my mind is cleared up a bit. Save here. Man, doing just only this one it's definitely gonna be long. Obviously, these type of parts most likely gonna be separating into. I think you kind of already realized this is maybe the second episode. Who knows? But we're definitely gonna have to. I really just don't know. Maybe future we can. Obviously, by the time you're looking at, you kind of already know what kind of is or what kind of isn't. But yeah, this kind of is kind of long. So the more the merrier to go in, and let's see what else this game has in stock for us. So yeah, pretty neat. In any case, I need to keep chasing after Miss President. And now I immediately see a recognizable feature, her long ponytail. I found her.
It's too dangerous to go alone.
Miss President turns around in response to my voice. She's smiling, as I wasn't expecting that at all.
Telling me impressed that you managed to catch up to me so quick.
This calmness. Has she expected that I would follow her? I'm beginning to feel like she's toying with me. But I understand now. Nothing I can say to her will change her mind. There's no helping it then.
Promise me that you won't leave my side. And you can't do anything rash. If you can't agree to those terms, I'll have to force you into protective custody. This is a matter of life and death for you.
Sure thing. Then let's get to that announcement room together.
I thought that I'd be able to keep her in check by saying that her life was in danger, but she didn't seem to take any notice. She just shrugged and accepted my proposal. She's quite hard to deal with. I'm not sure if she knows how I'm feeling, but she speaks up.
Hey, mind if I ask you something?
What is it?
There's a moment of silence. Just I'm about to ask her to go on. Miss President
It's
continues.
tough, being forced to fight your friends, huh? Oh, sorry. You don't gotta answer.
She must still be thinking about my fight with Yukiko. True, I'm slightly hesitant to talk about any of this, but it's a question that must be answered. That's how it feels to me.
No, you're right. If I could avoid it, I would. But I believe in my friends.
You mean your friends won't hate you after the fight? Or you think they'll understand that you don't really want to fight?
I don't know. Both, maybe. I mean, there's no way we'd fight each other without some kind of reason.
Exactly. Would you believe that answer? I study Miss President's face. When she opens her mouth, she has an unexpectedly gloomy look in her eyes.
What if you had to kill each other?
Kill each other? I truly hadn't anticipated that question. I'm caught off guard by how I hadn't even considered it. It's true, there's no guarantee that this General Teddy won't suddenly decide to make us fight to the death on a whim.
Sorry, that was probably over the line. I don't know why I said that.
I wouldn't let it happen.
Even if I was forced into such a situation, I would never follow that order. That's all I can say right now. But after hearing my answer, Miss President cast her eyes down again. After seeing that behavior, how do I put this? Felt a sense of incongruity. Why could that be? Something doesn't feel like her. Could Miss President be carrying some unimaginable burden that she has yet to confide in us? Is it so heavy that she would ask that question of me? Speaking of which, if General Teddy does turn out to be her shadow, what does that mean about whatever repressed thoughts she truly has? Suddenly, it seems that her courageous and cheerful demeanor are a minor image of that, and a slight sense of fear chills my spine. My thoughts raced through my head while we walked down the hallway. My head.
What are you doing?
I thought I broke my nose for a moment. Is that invisible wall again? Even though I should have been expecting them, I relaxed my guard and walked right into one. I hold my nose and wave away Miss President, who looks concerned.
There's an invisible wall. I don't think I can go through here.
An invisible wall? Oh, that must have been why you broke out of the mime act every now and then. Well, if I can pass through, it must only be blocking the tournament fighters. This world sure is out there.
Miss President walks right through the place I had bumped into. So that must be the case. As I imagine, Miss President is unaffected by these walls. It is because she's not one of the fighters in the Grand Prix? Of course, if General Teddy really is her shadow, maybe the normal rules don't apply to her. The entrance of the school building is ahead of us. But perhaps worst of all is that the wall I had just walked into is blocking me from reaching there. I just have to find some other way. No, there are walls there too. And the same can be said for the direction towards the entrance. A thought crosses my mind as I check back the way we had come. It's as I thought. Another invisible wall has formed where I had just passed, and I can't go back. With walls in every direction, there's nowhere I can go. I'm trapped. And if I can't go anywhere, this can only mean one thing.
Be careful. This probably means...
The moment I call out to Miss President, General Teddy appears on the monitor in the entryway. It means my third round in the P1 Grand Prix is about to begin.
Is your snout okay, Sensei? Jeez, you're such a klutz.
You're still using that form? It's getting old. Why don't you just show your true self?
Boy, you've gotten peevish. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
I was intentionally trying to rile him up, but he wasn't falling for it. It looks like I'm not going to get him to reveal anything that way. I quickly changed tactics.
Okay, so who's my next opponent?
Ooh, now you're getting into the spirit of things. Let me guess, you're starting to enjoy beating up your friends? Okay, with the next challenger, come on down!
Who's up next? The general doesn't pick up on my intention and loudly yells out what appears to be a pre-battle catchphrase. Smoke pours out. And who should appear from the smoke but the person I was expecting to see? 4 of us enter the TV together. I've already fought against Yosuke and Yukiko. Then... should be Chie.
That's what I thought. You're the last of us after all.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd be next too.
Chie laughs along with me. For the moment, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with her words and actions, but I can't let my guard down around her. After all, that felt the same way when I encountered Yukiko too. But as they say, the third time's a charm. I have to see if Chie is in her right mind. I said that the best way to do that is to be calm and start a conversation with her.
Chie, you know what they're doing, right?
Before I can begin to explain, Chie cuts me off.
Yeah, I know. The stuff we say gets twisted around so we end up fighting each other, right? Don't worry. You're the son of a bitch who left us as soon as the last case ended, but you're still our good friend. I mean, you have it easy. You're just fighting your friends. I had to keep killing over and over, all because of you humans!
Alright, she's not. Now this is obvious. I think this time is pretty much obvious. She is just clearing on herself. It's so blatant, her words don't offend me at all. Moreover, it's not just out of character, but Chie would never say anything like that. And you humans? Is that as good as confessing that you're not human? Alright, carnivore, was it? Miss President is watching us from nearby. She looks more dumbfounded than worried. Still, what Chie said at the end caught my attention. I had to keep killing over and over.
More stuff about killing, huh? Miss President was talking about it earlier, too. This must be...
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Hurts. Hurts.
I'll give you a taste of the pain they put me through!
She's not even trying to sound like Chie anymore. Can't even begin to understand what she's talking about. But if a shadow is intentionally making people say these things, what does this mean about Miss President? Killing each other? All because of humans? What kind of secret past could the new student council president of Yasugami High be harboring? No, now's not the time. I'll have to look into this after we've cleared up all the confusion between us.
Let's do this, Chie.
I ignore her words and draw my sword. Immediately, Risei's voice echoes through the area as if she was waiting for this.
Well, round 3 of the P1 Grand Prix already. Word on the street is that the carnivore may have a slight advantage. Will you, Senpai, all talk and no skill, manage to eke out a win this time?
Why not?
Let's get this show on the road. Ready?
Why is there to lose? Alright, let's save. Alright, let's pump this up.
Final.
Ow. Oh wow, nice. Ouch. Nice.
I'll show man's potential. Persona.
Ouch. Now there we have it. I'm starting to get used to how you works. This kind of helps. Alright, let's continue. So I think I'm gonna do. Most like you already guys know this, but I think I'm gonna form that. I'll play a full session of these episodes until we get to the actual main story. So we get through all of these. Obviously, I'll separate these type of things. You guys don't need to worry about the support towards me, but anyways, then that's how I'm gonna do it. I've won. I lowered my sword and begin slowing my breathing. I don't believe I've injured Chie too badly. Considering this was my 3rd time having to do this, I feel like I'm getting pretty good at not having to seriously wound people in a fight.
Wipe that smug look off your face. This isn't fun at all.
Charlotte Teddy has seen that the fights ended without any injuries and spits his word through the monitor. The image on the monitor then disappeared without anything further. Let him say whatever he wants. I fought all the friends I came into the TV with, and none of them are hurt. All that's left is to head to the announcement room and make sure Nanako is safe, and then we'll be able to go home. I walk over to Chie and helped her up off the ground. She's come back to her senses as she seems a little sheepish. Man, you were no challenge at all. Are you alright?
I think so. Man, you're strong. I'm kind of shocked at how much of a difference there is between us.
Look who's talking. I've never been kicked around so bad in my life. I wait for Chie to reach her feet and then tell her everything that's happened up to this point.
So the others are safe too? What a relief. I was pretty worried.
She is so relieved that she sits down on the floor once more. Can't help but smile at the reaction. She really does care about her friends. Yeah, these are the people I believe in. Seeing us exchanging smiles like nothing was wrong, Miss President sounds perplexed when she speaks up.
You guys really are tight, aren't you? Makes me jealous.
Well, we did spend a whole lot of time together last year because of that case. Sure, I was surprised to hear such weird stuff coming from him, but I know he'd never say any of that to me. Wait a sec. Who are you?
She doesn't know. Oh, I forgot about that. I quickly introduce Miss President and tell Chia that she may be a victim in this case. But Chia looks again at Miss President suspiciously.
Huh? The student council president? You mean ours? That doesn't seem right. I remember the new president being a guy.
What are you saying? I'm the student council president. Who else would I be?
I'm pretty sure, though. Maybe if you told me your name, I'd remember.
My name...
Yeah. Wasn't it that they said in the previous game there was going to be a... It was a social link. It was... Someone was... I was trying to remember. Who wanted to be... student council. Was it Shu? They wanted to do that? No, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. But that comes from, like a month. So it had to be someone in the school. It wasn't Ko, was it? No, it wasn't Ko. Well, I don't remember. Maybe you guys can refresh me. Miss President stops moving. What's going on? She can't tell us her name? That's not that strange a question, is it? But for some reason, Miss President seems unable to answer. I sense some kind of incoherent melancholy from her. Chi and I share a tense glance.
My name's...
What's wrong?
My memories. No, I don't want to fight anymore. Why do we have to kill one another?
Kill one another. I gasp when I hear those words fall from her mouth. I don't know what's crossing her mind right now, but she's definitely not acting normally. I glance at Chia, then try to approach Miss President in the hopes of calming her down. Without warning, Miss President begins flailing her arms as if trying to ward off demons that only she can see. Chia reaches out and touches her in concern. Miss President's arm catches Chia and easily knocks her aside.
Chia!
What power! The burning managed to catch Chia before she slams into the concrete wall. Still, this sudden breakdown, what in the world is happening to Miss President? Once I've helped Chia back to her feet, we carefully approach her from both sides. This will be a little rough, but I can't be helped. We can't ask her anything why she's like this. But at this moment...
What?
No way.
Before I know it, Miss President is flying through the air. She was jumping. For a moment, I can't comprehend what I'm seeing. There's no ordinary leap. She was at a standstill, but now her entire body is suddenly up higher than my head. Her jumping ability is unbelievable. Chia and I looked up in astonishment as Miss President kicks off the ceiling to change directions and lands at a full run.
Wow. Who is that girl? Did I say something to offend her? She did mention something about her memories.
Come to think of it, her memories did seem a little muddled. Maybe she was on the verge of getting them back.
What kind of memory would make her go nuts and run away like that?
Can't answer Chia at all. What if you had to kill each other? Heard Miss President's sad voice in my head. She apparently wasn't expecting me to answer her, and she continues.
I'll wait here. Make sure you rescue her, okay?
Her voice is strong and confident. To drive the point home, she pokes my chest with her finger as if ordering me. Even though she might be in danger herself, she's still worrying about others. Well, my friends are like that. That makes me really happy right now. I asked Jay if she'll be alright on her own. She fires back, let me worry about that. I nod to her and begin running after Miss President once more. I will save her, no matter what. Alright, let's see who's our next opponent. Even though I was running as fast as I could, the invisible walls keep preventing me from making much headway. I attempted to strike at the walls with my persona, but nothing happened.
So many invisible walls. one after another. Miss President can pass through them. I don't know if I can keep up the pursuit.
The announcement room is still my destination. There's no way to know if that's where Miss President is headed as well. But if there's a shadow waiting for me there, I need to get there anyway. Teddy and Rise should be in the announcement room. And if Nanako is being held captive, that's where she'd be as well. I have to keep running, but yet another wall blocks the hallway. At first, I think that this is a dead end, and realize that I can't cut through a classroom and come out on the other side of the wall. It's forcing me to enter the room rather than letting me go straight. This probably means I brace myself and put my hand on the door. The moment I stepped inside, a familiar voice echoes in my mind.
Hi. Senpai! Can you hear me? Please answer me!
That voice. Is that you, Rise? The real one?
Her voice isn't coming from the PA system. I'm actually hearing it in my head. This has to be the work of Rise's persona.
Thank goodness. I've been all alone since that weird fake Teddy captured me. And then you were all fighting each other.
I can hear the relief of her. The relief of her voice. She sounds so different from the insensitive and rude voice that had been coming from the PA system. This is indeed the Rise I know.
Where are you now, Rise? Can you locate where I am?
I'm sorry, I don't think there's time. I'm stuck in the announcement room. Please, Senpai, you have to hurry. If you don't, he'll...
Rise! What's wrong, Rise?
There's no answer. Communication has been cut off. Has something happened in the announcement room? My heart begins to racing. The enemy made us fight each other as participants in this tournament, but they had captured Rise as well. It's clear to me that they must have been worried about her using her persona powers to tell us the truth. But that's not important right now. If she was just captured to prevent her from contacting us, then the enemy must think of Rise as being less valuable than those who had to fight. She sounded okay, but who knows what might happen to her now. I have to hurry.
Pardon me for interrupting while you are lost in thought.
There she is. A hand brushes my shoulder in surprise. I jumped away and draw my sword. Can't believe that I let myself get so lost in thought that I didn't notice someone until they touched me. This is the second time I've let myself get so distracted. I've gotten used to having my friends with me while we investigate last year. I can't pay attention to the entire world on my own. I need to brace myself. There she is, I guess. I look up and see another unfamiliar face. A girl with blonde hair and striking blue eyes. Wait, a girl? Her face and voice seem human-like, but the rest of her, there's metal everywhere, all over her body. For a moment, I wonder if this is just an elaborate costume. But I can't see the interior framework of her body where her joints connect.
I didn't mean to startle you.
You're,
It's nice to meet you. My name is Aegis. And no, I am not human. You are the one from the introduction video, listed as the Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel, Narukami-san. Correct?
I guess I missed you. The question catches me off guard. I wasn't expecting a complete stranger to call me that. And did she say she wasn't human? Well, when Yosuke called me by that stupid title, I knew it was a joke, but when a stranger says it, it sounds like they're truly believed it. This is pain.
Nanako is important to me, but calling it a complex is stretching things.
No, wait a second. I wasn't trying to play it off, but I ended up blurting out Nanako's name anyway. Calm down. I need to take this conversation away from this subject. Clear my throat and try to start over.
Aegis-san, was it? Why are you here?
Our primary objective is the destruction of shadows, but we have come to this world on a different mission.
The destruction of shadows.
She fights shadows, but how can she do that if...
Does that mean...
Yes, I have a persona as well. Though my body is a machine, personas are the strength of the heart after all.
Just as I thought. I'm surprised to find another Persona user outside of my group of friends. And a robot on top of that. I can't come to grips with all of this. From the way we were talking, she seems just like a normal person, only in an interesting suit. True, I've seen stories on the news about robots looking uncannily like real humans, but isn't something like this far beyond those? Still, I can't help but believe the evidence of my own eyes. I mean, I've been hopping in and out of TVs for the past year. Who am I to say what's strange or not? Perhaps the technology behind her creation was supernatural roots or of its own. I find myself growing more and more interested in how she came to be here, but I have to put that aside for now. There's something I need to find out from her first. This P1 Grand Prix, it's so similar to the events of last year, but to think that it would involve someone like her, I don't have a clear picture of everything that's happening. That's for sure. Calm myself, then I ask her what I feel would tell me what she's doing in this world.
What is this mission of yours?
She opens her mouth to respond, but just then, the monitor inside the classroom turns on. It's at the moment that I suddenly remembered. It's likely that I'm going to have to fight here. Forgotten about sensing that when I entered the room.
So that's where you got to, Sensei. I've been looking all over for you. Ooh, who's the honey? Were you in the middle of trying to score with her?
As if you didn't know. You're the one who lured us both here.
Oh my, did you figure it out? I didn't have a choice after those guys decided on their own to horn in on the fun. You're a bright boy, Sensei. You know what's coming next, don't you?
The general on the monitor gives a twisted smile. Could Aiga-san's mission be something that would cause him trouble? I can't figure out what his motives are, but he's using us to crush each other. In other words, she's the next challenger that's being set against me. Aiga-san seems to understand this as well, and is staring at the monitor with a quiet animosity.
Sorry about this. Do you know the rule of this tournament?
Only the victor of each match may move on. Yes?
I have nothing against you, but I'm in a hurry for my own reasons.
Neither of us, in other words, can back down. Then there should be no hard feelings.
Aiga-san is refreshingly straightforward about this. She immediately takes a fighting stance. A bitter thought comes to me. It's tough being forced to fight my friends, but having to hurt someone I don't even know is just as bad. Another thought comes in the heels of that one. I don't know this girl. Perhaps her appearance here means that there are urgent problems that an ordinary student like me can't fathom. What gives me the right to stop her on her own mission? Shouldn't I know what's at stake before I take that from her? Thankfully, it seems that she hasn't gone mad like my other friends. Perhaps the enemy doesn't care about clouding the minds of people who don't know each other. If we're still capable of understanding each other, then we should talk this over before we do anything.
That will not do. We will speak more of this after one of us wins.
Aiga-san says this so quickly as if she's reading my mind. For a moment, I'm struck by how she could have known what I was thinking about. But I realize that she's right. What good would it do for us to talk things over? True, the loser can't not leave this room, but until we have a battle, neither one of us is going anywhere. It doesn't really matter if we can come to an understanding or not. Until we have our fight, none of our goals are going to be accomplished. If that's the case, then it's better if we don't hear about each other's problem before we fight. That could be why Aiga hasn't told me anything. This must be her version of kindness. I silently ready my sword. Aiga-san appears to smile slightly when I do. Right, I'm not going to give up on what I'm fighting for her either. I need Nanako and my friends to be safe. And I have to make sure that Miss President is okay. I will use everything I can to protect them. Thank her for her consideration. I make it a point to announce that I'm ready to start the fight.
Here goes. There's no need to hold back.
Indeed. Let us do battle.
I'm so happy to see Aigis again. Alright, let's get right into it. For me, it's kind of refreshing to play this game after playing Persona 4. Oh wow! Nice combo.
Over here. Severe impact. Damage. No. I saw. Please hit.
Over here.
Severe impact. Heavy damage. Severe impact.
She's going Orkia mode.
Severe impact. Light damage. No.
Alright. And then quite quickly. I wish it was like 2 rounds to make it longer, but the reason why it's not doing that is because the game story is actually quite long.
Wowza! Now that's the sensei I know! That hunk of junk was no match for you! Serves you right! Keep suffering! Friend against friend, beating the heck out of each other!
Machine with the power of a persona. She was made to fight shadows, but I had no idea what she was capable of. I feel like my mind's been drained even more than my body. It angers me to see that the general is watching over us with an expression of joy as if we were some performers for his amusement. I look up and glare at the monitor.
I don't know why you're making us fight, but it's pointless. We aren't fighting because we hate each other. The reason we can fight is because we respect and trust each other.
A low growl. That's the only sound I hear. The real Teddy never made such a hateful sound. It's actually rather scary.
You're such a dumbass. What's with you?
The image on the monitor distorts along with that outburst. The general is having trouble remembering to act as someone else, and his face bulges and ripples disturbingly as his hate pours through the screen. Any pretense at copying the adorable stupidity of the real Teddy is gone now. I notice that the voice spitting out these hateful words is not Teddy's either.
Respect? Trust? So what if you don't hate each other? You're not like me. I was forced to fight against my will. I destroyed them with my own hands. You should all have to go through the hell I've suffered. See how it feels to destroy everyone you call a friend. If I knew this was gonna happen, I would have made the rules so you had to kill your opponent to move on.
The general on the monitor continues to rage.
What are you talking about? Why did you set this tournament up?
The moment I say that, I feel that all the dots have been connected. When Miss President had asked out of the blue if we were going to be forced to kill each other, that ominous muttering of killing one other, were those both something that had come directly from her past? Maybe she had been forced to fight against people she didn't want to fight. Had she been forced to destroy something that was precious to her? There's no way to know for sure, but it's possible. Considering this, it's kind of explains why her shadow would have created a tournament like this. That is, she wanted us to feel what she went through. I might not be entirely correct, but I feel like I'm close to the truth. Should I just ask General Teddy about my suspicions? But as I'm considering raising my voice...
Pardon my eccentric entrance.
Someone comes crashing through the ceiling. What in the world? I'll rush over to Aigis to protect her from falling debris. I missed you, my dear adoring character. When I look up, I see a young woman emerge from the cloud of dust. While not as strange as I guess, she seems a little uncommon as well. But even besides that, why did she have to come through the ceiling? This room has doors. That's the way she is. It makes no sense at all. I was about to get to the heart of the matter with General Teddy, but the monitor in this room has been destroyed, along with the ceiling. Though she seems oblivious to my confusion, the girl cocks her head and apologizes again.
Oh, please excuse me. I didn't have the faintest idea that someone would be here.
Faintest?
Feigned? Fiend? Something along those lines at any rate.
What the hell is she talking about? What in the world is this person? Wait a second. That blue suit she's wearing looks familiar. And with that silver hair and golden eyes. Could it be?
Are you from the Velvet Room?
My, is this what's known as being hit on?
Oh my god.
Forbidden ritual where one human approaches another based solely on appearance and bets on the inner self being equally attractive.
What? No, I'm not hitting on you. You just remind me of someone I know.
Okay, so that actually sounded like I was really hitting on her. No, I need to stop thinking about that. In any case, I need to ask her something.
Do you happen to know anyone by the name of Margaret?
Margaret.
When she repeats the name, her face seems surprisingly youthful. I've been taken aback by her bizarre speech and actions, but could this girl be younger than me? Her profile simultaneously evokes the image of a pondering philosopher and an innocent girl. I can't figure out how exactly to speak to her. Should I be more polite? I guess that doesn't matter too much. Anyway, worrying about the nicest isn't the most important thing right now.
Oh, actually, we should introduce ourselves first. I'm Yu Narukami.
Ah, that had slipped my mind also. My name is Elizabeth. Dear me, to hear that name fraught with memories in such a mundane, remote place.
She thinks of this world as a mundane place. That's confusing. Yes, Inaba may be out in the countryside, but I don't think it's so bad as people say it is. The girl Elizabeth suddenly bows elegantly to me.
Margaret is indeed my sister's name. Can I take that to mean that you are another guest of that room?
I see. So she's Margaret's sister. That would explain why she reminds me of her.
Elizabeth-san, huh? Well, I guess that's the case. It's true that there was a time when I visited that room.
Igor, Margaret, and now Elizabeth. It seems there are more people who call that place home than I thought. I think I'm glad I met Margaret last year instead of this girl.
But why is a resident of the Velvet Room here? Did Margaret send you with a message or something?
I am currently utterly neglecting my duties.
Is that so?
That doesn't really tell me much, and I have no response anyway. So what poses her to come blasting in through the ceiling instead of using the door? I decided not to bother asking her that. I met so many different people over the last year, but trying to have a conversation with this girl is like trying to ride a wild horse. She's just going to ignore the directions I'm trying to steer us towards and just veer off wherever she wants. Best to just hold on and go along with the ride then. Maybe if I pay attention, she'll tell me something worth my time. Even if I try to ask her any questions, she'll likely just be confused anyway. Just as I'm having that thought, the girl seems to have noticed my hesitation to start to talk about herself. Her eyes are lit up and with a sincere passion. She really is a hard one to read.
I have a certain desire. It may take a very long time for it to be realized. In order for my wish to be granted, I require a power much greater than what I have. The power of the wild card that changes bonds into strength. I have a feeling that the key lies there.
I know a little about the wild card, but
I feel that the first glue to granting my wish lies within that power.
glue?
Glue? Influenza. Something along those lines at any rate.
She's having trouble coming up with the right words, but I can hear the sincerity in her speech. Probably. In other words, I think she means that the power of the wild card is related to her desire and came here. I don't think it's worth it to ask how she knew I had the power or where she's found out about it. Just as I'm struggling to follow the meandering path of her conversation, she brings up an outrageous suggestion.
Might I suggest that you and I fight?
Oh? I what? Someone please tell me how she reached the conclusion that this was a good idea. I don't think I have a chance of talking her out of it though. But of course I have to try, so I say. We're gonna fight?
Oh, how excited this is making me. My expectations are ascending skyward at Mach speed.
Alright, this is our 5th fight.
To be direct, I'd like for you to show me the potential slumbering within you.
Let me make sure of something, just in case. You understand what I'm saying, right? There's no illusions at work?
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed.
I see. So you're actually in your right mind here. That's kind of, impressive.
Well, maybe she understood what I meant when I mentioned the illusions. If that's so, then she at least must have some idea what's going on around here. And even though she might understand it, she still wants to fight me. I wonder though, if she's unrelated to General Teddy's plan and invited herself into the tournament, do the usual rules apply? As I think about this, Olympus taps her foot on the ground and takes a fighting posture. She really does want to fight. A huge leather-bound book in her hand opens as if by itself. Be ready to die. I'm not gonna... in the future, maybe I'll take the attempt of fighting against the secret bosses in each Persona game. Though it might take courage and most likely requirements. So if you guys show support, then I'll actually take the opportunity of doing so. A torrent of power pours from the open book with a blue light. I can't believe that this strange girl has such unimaginable power. She seems so aloof. No, it may be more correct to call it an air of imminent violence.
Alright, I won't be able to hold back.
To be honest, I was really only saying that in the hopes of bluffing her. I have absolute no room to hold back in this fight. I heard cast off my fear and focus on the upcoming battle. There's no room for doubt. I need to hit her with my full strength from the start. Even if I were to fight her with the intent of killing her, I'll be lucky not to end up dead myself. At least that's how I feel. Elizabeth-san calmly begins the battle.
Let us do this. Your fate is in the cards.
Alright, we're getting into a fight. As she has a familiar persona. Alright.
Final.
Your fate is in the cards. Impressive. Impressive. I anticipate.
Ouch. Ah, she counter.
Backing up. Persona. One. You're from Persona. Oh no. Oh no.
Persona.
I anticipated.
Dude.
Negative penalty.
You're frozen. Your fate is in the
Ah. Oh no.
Your fate is Persona.
Izunari.
Oopsie daisy. My turn. I'm surprised.
Alright. I like how she posed. Well, that's another fight. Just when I thought I managed to throw her off balance, Elizabeth-san gets back up elegantly as if nothing had just happened. Suddenly I feel an intensity build up in the air. Don't tell me she hadn't been taking this seriously at all up until now. In the next moment I swallowed into a torrent of power like a leaf being blown into the air without the slightest understanding of what's happening. My vision blurs and as I'm spun about, and before I can tell up from down, the floor jumps towards me and and slammed into the ground. Am I going to lose? As my conscience fades, I see the faces of my friends and Aiga-san, all those I had fought against up until now. It's like that story that you see your life flash before your eyes just before you die. Am I dying? Can I really accept that? It's not over. I haven't lost yet. I'll fight as much as I have to in order to save my friends. I'll fight as much as I have to do in order to save my friends. I have to keep fighting. I've come so far. I can't lose my heart now. I desperately force my legs to move and manage to stand up again. Elizabeth-san shuts her book with an air of finality.
I see. I am quite content with this outcome. It seems you possess true strength.
The unyielding torrent of power suddenly ceased without warning. Is it over? Even as I come to understand that I continue to stand stock still, unable to move.
I believed you were at the limits of your stamina after the battle against Igus earlier. In actuality, your heart almost gave in during your struggle with me. But each time you faltered, the many hearts supporting you gave you strength, helping you to rise again.
She cuts herself off and nods to herself, as if to confirm some suspicion.
This was truly an intriguing battle. I believe our encounter has borne much flute.
Flute?
Flu? Chimneys. In any case, I am quite pleased.
My Elizabeth. Even after a battle, she acts like that. I feel like a fool for not believing that she really would have killed me, even if it felt quite real at the time. I can't believe any of this. My legs give out under me and I sink to the ground. Maybe she understands how I feel. Elizabeth-san looks straight into my eyes.
May I ask you something? To continue fighting in order to prevent an undesirable future, it is a path of endless hardship. Would you still choose to walk it?
Margaret had said something similar just before this tournament had begun. How I had overcome the ordeal concerning last year's case and opened the door. Margaret and Elizabeth-san's words come together in mind.
Yeah. Working for a better tomorrow isn't just a one-time thing. The tomorrows keep coming.
Opening the door is necessary, but it's not what truly important. What's more important is making sure that you follow the path that's beyond the door. Only once you have that path in mind, doesn't matter wherever you've opened the door or not. That's how I feel.
I would keep fighting for the future we want.
Elizabeth-san smiles. It seems the former dweller of the Velvet Room is pleased with my answer. She must have chosen a path of her own at some point, and is doing everything in her power to see it through. Maybe I'm jumping conclusions, but I feel as if I'm able to understand her a little bit better now.
It's time for me to bid you adieu. By your leave, I, Elizabeth, am out of here.
With this, Elizabeth briskly walks out of the room. She caused me some trouble, but I've also learned something about myself as well. I think I'll call it a draw. As I wave goodbye to Elizabeth, I hear Aiga-san getting to her feet behind me.
Are you alright? You shouldn't force yourself to move.
I was concerned at first, but Aiga-san doesn't seem to be very hurt or damaged or whatever you would say. She was likely just knocked out. I had absolutely no chance of winning if I'd gone easy on her either. This is getting ridiculous.
You are very kind. We've only just met, and yet you are worried about a machine like myself.
Huh? Isn't that normal?
Aiga-san laughs at my confusion.
Seeing you smile like that, I don't know. I just can't think of you as a machine. You have a heart, right? Then it doesn't matter whether you're man or machine.
Aiga-san stopped laughing and thinks deeply for a moment. But after a few seconds, she looks back at me with a serious look in her eyes.
You have defeated me in single combat. That will make it difficult for me to continue forward.
Hearing this music and having her present, it's like, that's pain inside your heart.
But I believe I can trust you. Will you listen to my mission directive?
I have no reason to say no. I look Aige-san square in the eye and nod reassuringly. And so Aige-san told me about her directive, and it was truly surprising. There was another case involving personas and shadows outside of Inaba, even before our adventure last year. And she is a weapon with a heart, created with the express purpose of wielding a persona to fight the shadows. She believes in that this current situation came to be because someone has stolen a similar weapon and caused it to enter the TV world.
So, there's another girl robot with a heart like you, and she's the cause of all this?
We came to this world to retrieve her. My older sister, the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris, is in this world somewhere.
Nanako, Miss President, her shadow, and now Labris? I have a mountain of tasks to accomplish now. But even though I have a lot to do, I can't ignore any of it.
Tell me more about Labris, and I'll do what I can to help you get her back.
Unfortunately.
Aige-san's expression clouds. She said that she was a machine, but really is no different from a human. As I pondered this, I listened to what she has to say. It is discouraging.
So you don't know what she looks like, what she can do, or what equipment she's loaded with?
Basically, all she can tell me is that Labris is a robot who's built to look like a girl. Wait a second. Did I meet a girl I didn't know in the TV world? Miss President! Could Miss President be Labris?
Is there a possibility that she looks, well, more human than you? You mentioned earlier that she was your older sister, so I assume she was built before you, but...
My sister was an older model, a prototype for the 5th generation to be exact. It's doubtful that she would look more human than myself.
Then there's no way Miss President could be Labris. I could tell at first glance that Aigis was a machine. Miss President appears to be completely human. I never once considered that she might not be human until just now. But that just makes things even more complicated. What in the world is going on inside the TV world?
In any case, I'll keep an eye out for her. But right now, I'm heading to the announcement room. If Labris is the cause of this, then I'm bound to meet up with her eventually.
I shrug slightly. I don't want to be so grave. Aige-san must sense what I'm trying to do and smiles.
Thank you. I will trust my sister's fate to you.
Of course. I gave Aigis a determined nod and run out of the classroom. But man, what a busy golden week. I have to make sure Nanako's okay and find Miss President, unmask whoever's masquerading as Teddy, and now search for a Labris somewhere in here. If this wasn't happening, I'd be kicking it with my friends at the Junes food court. Yukiko was trying to be coy, but I'm pretty sure that big bundle she was carrying was a box lunch she made for us. As to how it might taste, well, let's not get sidetracked. I'm sure we'd all have enjoyed it anyway. Eventually, I would call Nanako over and we would have bought some snacks together. There were things I wanted to buy from the Shiroku store, and maybe I could have made it into Zozai Daigaku in time to buy the last of the special croquettes. I wanted to talk with the owner of Daidara and to get some books from the Yomenaido bookstore. I'd have a steak bowl at Aya, hung out with the fox at the Tsuhima shrine, waited for my uncle so we can have dinner, and tomorrow I've been gone fishing. If the one who ruined my vacation and caused all of these problems is the same person who stole Labyrinth, and if they're truly brought Nanako back into the TV world, I'll never let them go for that. I'll catch them, no matter what.
You're not getting away from me.
As I run, I come across yet another blue door. Perhaps it's a sign that I need to calm down. True, I may have lost my cool for a moment.
Someone here? Again?
I reach towards the door with a relaxed smile. Alright, Margaret. I met your sister. Margaret is in her usual position. I glance around to see if there's anyone else in here. It looks like her nutcase of her sister is in here. Margaret notices me looking and sighs, a seductive sound that also conveys annoyance.
It seems my sister has caused you some trouble, though this may mean that I'm not the only one who is drawn to the light of your potential.
There's a hint of a tenderness towards her sister in her words. Her sister must be important to her. I can tell from the look on her face. Do I look like that when I talk with Nanako? Or talk about Nanako? Margaret pulls herself together and speaks
again. You have
again.
gained a new resolve by overcoming many doubts and falsehoods.
A new resolve? I find myself nodding along.
You have reached the threshold of truth. But man's hearts are mutable. That is why a resolve to continue fighting is more important than any one victory or defeat.
Yeah, I understand.
But this will be a difficult battle without end. Are you equal to the challenge?
The way she puts it makes it seem as she was testing me. I don't respond immediately and think about the question. It would be lying to say that I'm not worried. I know that my heart can be swayed by change. There's not knowing what will happen from moment to moment. But even then,
I have my friends, if I'm not alone, I can do it.
I see.
Margaret nods slightly in response.
I have heard your answer, but it's not enough. Remember what I told you before? The heart is shaken more by a single action than by 1,000 words.
As she smiles, my vision begins to blur. I hear words being repeated. And I have reached the threshold of truth. Everything that's happened during the course of this case runs through my mind. The new appearance of the TV world, this tournament pitting us against each other, the student council president, and a fake Teddy. My encounter with a weapon with a heart, Aige-san searching for her sister, Labris. And the determination that I've gained through these constant battles. What I must accomplish? How do I show that I've decided through my actions? Well, this is a long episode. Alright. It seems that the number of invisible walls has decreased. Could this mean that the end is near? Just as I think that I hear a familiar voice. That was Miss President's voice. It was coming from the door to the announcement room. I finally made it. Opened the door to the announcement room and rushed inside.
You're finally here. Hello, Sensei. Congratulations! How does it feel to have won the P1 Grand Prix?
General smirks at me as I pass through the door. Behind him, Miss President and Rise. When the two of them see me, Miss President looks confused, while Rise's face lights up with joy.
There you are, Senpai! You're late!
I have to stay cautious of the general, but I signaled to the girls that everything will be all right now. The general is closer to them than I am. I can't afford to make any reckless moves just yet. And there's one more thing I need to know.
Teddy, where's Nanako?
I look around the announcement room, but Nanako is nowhere to be found. The general's face distorts with an ugly glee.
Nana-chan's right here. See?
Suddenly, the general extends the arm that was held behind him, and there was Nanako. Her arms are clutched to her chest, and she slowly takes a few steps towards me, obviously frightened.
Nanako!
After taking a step forward, I noticed something bizarre. The general disappeared. For a brief instant, my full attention had been focused on Nanako. The general had been standing directly behind her, but now he's gone. How could I have gone somewhere else that quickly? Right in front of me, without me noticing it. While I'm confused about the general's disappearance, Nanako weakly calls to me. Being in the TV world has obviously taken a toll on her. She totters towards me unsteadily, looking ready to collapse at any moment. I can't think I can think about the general later. I have to save Nanako right now. As I reach to her, Risa yells.
Senpai, no! Nanako-chan's not there!
Nanako's not here? What is she saying? She's right here! Just as I'm about to say so, my hand stops. Something's not right. I tried to look into Nanako's face once more, and in her eyes I saw madness.
Oh, so close! Just a little more and Sensei would have been a goner!
You bastard!
I barely reacted in time to draw my sword to block the attack. The general suddenly appeared out of nowhere to attack me with his cane, and I get a good look at him as our weapons clash together. I see the madness in his face, the same madness that I seen in Nanako's only a moment before. That's when I noticed that Nanako has disappeared. What's going on?
You've got it wrong, Senpai. It's all been him from the beginning. He can make whoever's looking at him see him as someone else.
So he's not actually taking on other forms?
No, he's just distorting the things you see and hear.
That's right. The enemy is able to control what I see and hear. I realized that after all the battles I had today, but seeing Nanako had made me forget all that. Sure laughs at this.
It's hard for me to show someone who isn't here. But you actually saw this Nanako girl? You're hopeless.
Just like how my friends hadn't actually gone crazy before our fights, Nanako had never been brought into this world in the first place. The appearance before me is a fake. He distorted our senses all to make us suffer. But just as I thought, he could deceive Rise's persona's abilities. That's why he kidnapped her, to keep her from warning us during his tournament. Now that I know that, I push the general's cane away and jump back towards the girls in order to distance myself from him. Good. I'm between them and the general. And then looked straight at the one behind this bizarre situation.
Who in the world are you?
You still can't tell? Seriously, the level of intelligence around here.
Well,
Fine then. Here. Get a good look.
cinematic. There she is. Labras.
I am a shadow. The true self. That's my face.
Her mental limbs, golden eyes, and a ponytail. And a mirror image of Miss President's face, even though she was standing behind me, trembling.
How about it? You wanted to see what I am, didn't you? Why does she look like me?
That's its true form. That thing is your shadow.
Exactly.
This is a shadow? She really came from inside me?
Yep. Lisa tries to calm Miss President, but the girl shakes her head in denial and squeezes her eyes shut. But Miss President refuses to look at this mechanical-looking being. I now understand what is going on, because this isn't the first time I've seen a robotic girl before. All the facts match up. The way she was able to run so fast without so much as breathing heavily, even in the TV world, the sense of wrongness that I had when Miss President had asked me about killing my friends, the way she avoided telling me her name, that superhuman strength when she hit Chi, and that incredible jump to get away from us, and the shadow's ability to interfere with the sense of other people. Just as Margaret had said, all the pieces to the puzzle were laid out before me. They all come together, and now I can see the truth. She is indeed Labris. Labris, another weapon with a heart stolen by someone unknown and thrown into the TV world, created this school and focused us to fight our friends. This deep-rooted depression regarding her past memories, all of this took the form of Labris' shadow, who manipulated everything here.
Labris, don't look away. If you don't accept her, she'll get even stronger.
Miss Labris only shivers when I call out to her. There has to be some reason why she believed that she was the student council president. But that's just a disguise, more for herself than for us. No matter how comfortable it is, it's only there to cloud her eyes from the truth.
I don't know what your past was like. It must have had some painful memories. But you have us with you now. We're going to get you out of here.
I call out to Labris while keeping an eye on the shadow. Shadow is the darkness within a person's heart. Unless it is accepted by the person it came from, it will never disappear for good. But with that in mind, all we can do is watch over her as she accepts this darkness within her. We'll have to protect her when the shadow goes berserk and tries to kill her. Labris continues to shake her head and tremble violently. My words aren't getting through to her.
You hear that, me? Your friend is trying to tell you something. Too bad he doesn't understand at all. These clowns are so hopelessly naive.
Shadow laughs shyly. It continues to smear more poison into Labris'
I
heart.
wish I could have made them feel my pain. What it's like having to murder one another. That sadness and pain and anguish. Everything went black, and I was always left alone. I'm a weapon, a machine made only to fight. No human can understand my suffering.
Someone can understand you.
I've had enough. I'm human. I'm not like that.
This isn't good. I settle into a fighting stance, ready for anything. Though I have a good idea what's going to happen.
Oh, you're still clinging to that. Then take a look at what you really are.
Shadow's eyes gleam with golden light. Golden light, sorry. The change begins immediately. A shimmer runs across Labris' body, and instead of the normal human girl there had been a moment ago, she has a metallic body just like a shadow.
No! No!
Labris loses all composure and scratches at her arm, trying to tear away the metal that had appeared. But there was more to her change than just her arms. Her legs, waist, chest, even her head, everything not covered by her clothing, was now obviously mechanical. The reality that she didn't want to face. There are no words we can say to her. No matter what we say, the reality won't change. Labris falls to her knees and finally mutters the words I was dreading she'd say. To be continued. And there we have it. Kanji and Teddy stories are now available. And so we well, it's not conclude, but more to be continued. So we have to continually play through the other characters in order to continue here. So yeah, look at that. We've done Ultimax Kamis. I'm not sure how long these type of things, this type of episode is gonna prolong. So I definitely will see. So roughly maybe 2 or 3 episodes out of this. I think just 2 episodes. Who knows? I'll definitely see how I'll structure it. But yeah, that was Ultimax Kami's part on the Persona 4 Arena. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this part. RC, I'm gonna end it there. I mean, it's been a pretty long session, and most likely once I do the other one, it's gonna most likely be the same. So yeah, this is a lot more like a storytelling for me than actually be, you know, showcasing basically gameplay, but more like you had to see the fights and that kind of stuff, even though they last pretty much what not even a minute. Maybe it's or so, who knows. But yeah, this game is most likely resolving towards the fighting than the storytelling than the fighting itself. So yeah, that's how you're gonna basically see. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this very first episode of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and I can't wait to give out more. So leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. We'll be taking the role of Yosuke. Let's see what would be his point of view to all this. But we sure see that in the next episode. Until then, peace out.